Hello everyone. So today we are going to talk about pollution problems. So I guess some of you already might know the word pollution, but let's dive deeper into it. So pollution is the introduction of harmful materials into the environment. So these harmful materials are called pollutants. So pollutants can be natural, such as volcanic ash. They can also created by human activity. So there is naturally and mechanically made. So such as trash or runoff produced by factories. So pollutants damage the quality of air, water, and land. So those three mentioned is not the only thing that we can assume that they are pollution. So marami pang iba. Many things that are useful to people produce pollution. Cars, pollutants, yung mga lumalabas sa exhaust pipes ng ating mga sasakyan is what we call air pollution na din. So, burning coal to create electricity pollutes the air. So, yun, isa pa din yun. So, industries and homes generate garbage and sewage that can pollute the land and water. So, for example, we have factories. Tapos, yung mga factories naman, yung mga harmful chemicals nila na tinatapon na lang na hindi na nila mapakinabangan, napupunta yun sa, it's either sa land and water. So, pesticides, chemical poisons used to kill weeds and insects, seep into waterways and harm wildlife. So, pollution. All living things from one-celled microbes to blue whales depends on Earth's supply of air and water. When these resources are polluted, all forms of life are threatened. So, let's give it an example. Let's say water pollution. Yung water and land pollution, since I think we can intertwine both of them. For example, a plant grew in a place, or a fish in the river is in a polluted river is living. There are a lot of fish living in that river. So um, pag may isang sabihin nating hayop na kakain or manghuhuli ng isda, it can affect the life naman nung hayop na yon. So, yeah, pollution is a global problem. Although urban areas are usually more polluted than the countryside, pollution can spread to remote places where no people live. For example, pesticides and other chemicals have been found in the Antarctic ice sheet in the middle of northern Pacific Ocean. A huge collection of microscopic plastic particles forms is known as the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. So sa tingin ko napupunta tong mga materials na to dito since water flows, 'di ba? So nag-cycle siya sa mga seas or oceans. So possibly na nadadala to ng current. So air and water currents ay yan na nga. Air and water currents carry pollution. So ocean currents and migrating fish carry marine pollutants far as and wide. Um, Winds can pick up radioactive material accidentally released from nuclear reactor and scatter it around the world. Smoke from a factory in a one country drifts into another country. So yun nga, sabi ko, kumbaga it's not sa ocean lang or sa river. Nangyayari din yan since sa air, sa sabihin natin air pollution, nagpo-flow siya sa all over the atmosphere. So, nag-flow din siya doon. So, yun, sinabi ko kanina that we have three major types of pollution. Kaya sinabi ko major kasi hindi naman ang mga minor types ng pollution. For example, the noise pollution. So, here we have land, air, and water pollution. So, sa air pollution, sometimes air pollution is visible like sa mga engines ng jeepneys na nakikita natin. It's the smoke that lumalabas sa exhaust ng jeep is very visible, 'di ba? Sabihin na natin air siya, pero nakikita siya. Yun nga, dark smoke pour from the exhaust pipes of large trucks or factories, for example. So, more often, however, air pollution is invisible rather. So polluted air can be dangerous even if pollutants are invisible. It can make people's eyes burn and make them difficulty in breathing. So it can also increase the risk of lung cancer. So most air pollution is not natural. However, it comes from burning fossil fuels, coal, oil, natural gas, and when gasoline is burned to power cars trucks, it produces carbon monoxide which is very harmful sa ating atmosphere din. So now let's proceed naman. Next we have water pollution. So some polluted water looks muddy, smells bad, and has garbage floating in it. Some polluted water looks clean but it is filled with harmful chemicals you can see or smell. So, yon. It doesn't mean na hindi mo nakikita, it's not there. Okay? So, polluted water is unsafe for drinking and swimming because let's say you nag-swim ka or nakainom ka ng water doon sa polluted water, nakainom ka ng polluted water, it can affect or you can you are susceptible to a higher risk na pwedeng makaapekto sa ating life, sa iyong life. Kumbaga, mahahawa mo na din yung kasocialize mo. So, others consume bacteria and other tiny aquatic organisms that cause disease. So, yes, sometimes polluted water harms people indirectly. So, they get sick because the fish, katulad ng sinabi kanina, na yun, because the fish that live in the polluted water are unsafe to eat. So, kinakain pa rin yun. Kasi hindi naman natin alam na merong pollution dun sa water na yun. Excuse me. Next, we have land pollution. Many of the same pollutants that foul the water also harm the land. Mining sometimes leave the soil contaminated with dangerous chemicals. So pag hindi naman sa napapansin kasi we've never been to mining areas, but I know na may ginagamit silang mga chemicals na uh, sa pagmimina. Yun, pesticides and fertilizers from agricultural are blown by the wind. So they can harm plants, animals, and sometimes people. So some fruits and vegetables absorb the pesticides that help them grow. When people consume fruits and vegetables, pesticides enter their bodies, and some pesticides can cause cancer and other diseases. So yun nga, sabi ko pag na-intake nyo yung something or somewhat edible na contaminated na pagkain, is it can cause you harmful diseases. So trash is another form of land pollution. So yung mga nakikita natin na garbages is a form of land pollution. So around the world, paper cans, glass jars, plastic products, and junk cars and appliances mar the landscape. Litter makes it difficult for plants and other producers in the food web to create nutrients. Animals can die if they mistakenly eat plastic. So, yun. Syempre, sabihin na natin, hindi naman katulad ng mga hayop na to, hindi naman nila tulad sa atin na alam kung ano yung mga pagkain. So, I think nakakain nila yung mga plastic because for example, bumili tayo ng hotdog, 'di ba? Yung mga plastic nun may balot na plastic. So, nagiiwan yun ng amoy doon sa plastic. So, I think uh, nasa isip nila na edible yun since malangsa yung amoy or may amoy yun. So, na pagkakamala nilang pagkain. So, garbage often contains dangerous pollutants such as oils, chemicals, and ink. So, these pollutants can leach into the soil and harm plants, animals, and people. So, kung mapapansin natin, madami talagang magiging effect pag napagpatuloy yung pollution. Kumbaga, mas lalong nadadagdagan yung triggers. So, what I can advise to people is that we sa atin magsisimula or we should be the one who will make the move first, because hindi naman tutulungan ng Earth yung sarili niya. So I know Earth is healing itself, but let's practice naman na kahit sa konting galaw natin, nakakatulong tayo kahit walang nakakakita. That's it for our pollution. So ngayon, dumapa naman tayo sa soil erosion and degradation. So ano nga ba yung soil erosion and degradation? Soil is the Earth's fragile skin. So sabi natin crust. That anchors all life on Earth. It comprised of countless species that create a dynamic and complex ecosystem, and is among the most precious resources to humans. So, alam naman natin kung bakit precious, 'di ba? Kasi nanginginabang tayo dito. So, increased demand for agriculture commodities generate incentives to convert forests and grasslands to farm fields and pastures. So the transition to agriculture from natural vegetation often cannot hold on to the soil, and many of these plants, such as coffee, cotton, palm oil, soybean, and wheat, and can actually increase soil erosion beyond the soil's ability to maintain itself. Half of the topsoil on the planet has been lost in the last 150 years. So imagine half ng topsoil na wala has been lost in the last 150 years. So let's count. Half ulit ang mawawala after 150 years or more. More than half, since we are having a growing population. So in addition to erosion, soil quality is affected by other aspects of agriculture. So these impacts include compaction, loss of soil structure, nutrients degradation, and soil salinity. So these are very real at times severe issues. So now let us find out the causes. So as the human population has expanded, so sinabi ko kanina, growing talaga yung earth, more and more land has been cleared for agriculture. Hindi lang sa agriculture, kundi sa pag-migrate ng mga tao and other pursuits that degrade the soils as the soil and make erosion more likely to occur. So, ngayon naman dito tayo sa deforestation. So, without plant cover, kumbaga sa soil natin ang nagko-cover dyan is yung mga trees. Kumbaga sila na yung nagiging nagbabind sa soil natin. So, erosion can occur and sweep the land into rivers. The agricultural plants that often replace the trees cannot hold onto the soil, and many of these plants, such as coffee, cotton, palm, and oil, wheat, can actually worsen the soil erosion. And as land loses its fertile soil, ang nangyayari is agricultural producers move on. So, lilipat sila sa ibang lugar at doon naman sila magsisimula ng panibagong um, cause. So, clear more forest and continue the cycle of soil loss. So, mapapansin natin na kumbaga may cycle din dito. Pag kumbaga hindi na nila dito yung part na papakinabang, lilipat sila. So, yung dun puputulin nila ulit yung mga puno, and then dito sa napag-iwanan nila is hindi na, wala na hindi na siya mapapakinabangan. Kumbaga ginagawa lang nilang nagre-recycle lang sila. So, overgazing. Ano nga ba overgazing? So, the conversion of a natural ecosystem such to pasture land doesn't damage the land initially. So, as much as the crop production, but this change in usage can lead to high rates of erosion and loss of the topsoil and nutrients. So, overgrazing can reduce ground cover, enabling erosion and compaction of the land by wind and rain. So, hindi naman siya nangyayari ang nag-erode ang soil pag kunwari pinutol agad natin yung puno dito. So, it will take time naman, kumbaga a little bit So I think it's weeks lang naman bago siya mawala ng kapitan kasi hindi na hinigop yung nutrients sa lands. So this reduces the ability of for plants to grow and water to penetrate. So which harms soils, microbes, and the result of serious erosion of the land. So use of agrochemicals. So pesticides and other chemicals used on crop plants have helped farmers to increase yields. However, meron to yung mga negative effects. So, scientists have found that overuse of some of these chemicals, yun nga sinabi ko, may mga negative din yung part na to. Uh, some of these chemicals change soil composition and disrupt the balance of microorganism in the soil. So, naapektuhan yung ating cover, I mean yung land. This stimulates the growth of harmful bacteria at the expense of beneficial kinds. So, napapalitan ng um, mga bacteria instead of yung mga nagbe-benefit. Kumbaga, hindi na siya organic, nagiging chemical, halo siyang chemical. So, ano magiging impact dito? So, magkakaroon ng lost arable land. So, arable land is any land that can be used to grow crops. Mababawasan, di ba? Obviously, yun talaga yung mangyayari. Clogged and polluted waterways. So, soil eroded from the land along with the pesticides and fertilizers applied to fields washes into streams and waterways. So, paano natin nasabing clog? Syempre, hindi naman always ata yung mga drainage natin naduduluyan ng tubig. So, ayan, if ever man na yung soil tumigas doon, habang tumatagal, nadadagdagan yung pagtigas doon, kung mga nag-i-increase, nagkakaroon ng um, cementation doon sa waterways, which results to clogging. So, increase in flooding. Land is often transformed from forest or another natural landscape, such as floodplains and wetlands, into a crop field or pasture. So, the converted land is less able to soak up with water, making flooding more common. So, very self-explanatory naman to kasi um, maraming balita talaga na mabaha talaga, especially dito sa ating lugar sa Legazpi. Yan. So that's all for my report. I hope you learned something from me. God bless everyone. Have a great day.